Thanks to the awesome folks over at Shudder for giving me an early screener to this brand new documentary releasing on Friday, July 21st called Sharksploitation. Now, I think that this is definitely going to find its audience, and I think there's going to be a lot of people that may enjoy this one. But what did I think of it? Well, stick around and let's find out. Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to the channel, whether you're new or returning once again. Really appreciate you taking your own time out to check out this review on my thoughts of Sharksploitation. Directed and produced by Steven Scarlata, Sharksploitation follows this new documentary that explores the weird and cinematic legacy of sharks on film and the world's undying fascination. And just before we get further into today's video, I would like to say a huge thank you to all my awesome Patreons who help to really support the channel. If you're interested in joining Patreon, and if you're interested in buying some merch or checking out my debut book, there is a link down below in the description box you can click where you can find all that good stuff. Over on Patreon, membership start from only £2 per month. You get access to so much extra content such as early videos, movie reviews, watch parties and so much more. Thank you for listening to that little advertisement, really appreciate it. Now let's get on to my thoughts. So going into Sharksploitation, I only saw the poster, didn't know the plot or anything like that, so I went into this one pretty blind, and after checking out this documentary, I could say there was elements here I liked, but it definitely did not work for me, and I'll get into why. So let's go into some positives very quickly. In here, you've got quite a few people talking, and there was a couple of recognizable faces. For example, I'm not going to tell you all of them, but just like two key ones that stood out for me was Dante, the director of Piranha. We also had Rebecca McKendry, who for me I think is a rising director, especially with last year in 2022, as I'm recording this video, released a movie called Glorious on Shudder. And that was definitely an enjoyable movie. So yeah, it was great to see her in here and in the fold of people talking about this as well. Now, there is some interesting elements that is presented here and some interesting facts and kind of this history with kind of the shark subgenre and its own genre and like exploitation of that as well. Like there was some really interesting elements that was mixed into the kind of time periods, and whether this is going back into the early 19 so to say, or whether it's going into that kind of the 2000s era and kind of like later on. And if anyone is brand new to the channel, I have covered some shark movies here, for example like Santa Jaws, Sharkenstein, Ouija Shark. So I definitely know of a kind of like, you know, subgenre of kind of like mockbusters, so to say. I will say that I think there is the elements here that is presented in terms of like the mockbuster style, because they actually did have a couple of Asylum kind of producers on here as well, and I was like, wow, like you guys got the Asylum producers on this documentary. Like that was pretty cool for me personally, like Mark Pollinia for example. But unfortunately, that's when my positives end, and I think this is all due and down to the editing and how this was produced by Steven Scarlata. Now, I think the issue is for me, right, is of course we know the big cinematic masterpiece that a lot of people rave about, which is Jaws. Now, I say that because, of course, Jaws kind of changed this whole genre of kind of shark, and you know, kind of saw a big movement and making a movement in Hollywood, so to say, and we've had countless shark movies ever since that time. I feel as if this documentary would have worked better if they made a separate Jaws documentary and just talked about that movie for the full runtime, and also maybe a separate documentary on kind of giving more kind of screen time to more of like the mockbusters that came and, you know, touched on Jaws and a little bit of like how it changed cinema, then focus on the rest of those kind of mockbusters or other movies like that, like after Jaws, and like that, just that alone. But they kind of like show you like one little clip and then they'll go back to Jaws, and then they'll show you another clip of Jaws and then go back to another mockbuster, and it was just little bit jarring with the editing, and I found that kind of, this is an hour and 46 minutes long anyway, I believe, and kind of around near kind of the 45-hour point, I was quite frankly a little bit bored. And it's not because I don't love sharks and I want to learn more about them, because I certainly do, but I just don't think this documentary does it in a great way. It's flicking between time periods all the time, and I know a lot of documentaries do that. I'm not saying that they don't, but I just feel like this one was just edited in not a great way. And also, as I mentioned before, they have quite a few guest speakers here, which is awesome to see, but I feel like they have too many guest speakers, and some of them are given like the tiniest amount of time to like talk, and then some of them are talking more than others, and I just felt like why are we showing them here at this point? Why have you not maybe saved them for later on if you're going to have them on? And it would have made more sense to have them on, say, like the asylum folks, for example. Have them on when they're talking about like the mid 2000s, maybe later on in the documentary, but get them on like straight away. Then you see them a little bit, and then that was kind of it. And I'm just like, where they want to try go with this. Yeah, I just don't know if this documentary know what it exactly wanted to do. It wanted to kind of tell you about this whole fascination with sharks, but I just didn't feel as if it was done in a great way, unfortunately. Not for me, but hey, as I said, there's going to be fans of this documentary. People are going to probably enjoy this and love this one and check it out time and time again. Unfortunately, it just did not work for me. But if you have checked this out, or you are going to check it out, I'll leave any and all thoughts down below so we can continue the discussion down there. As for my score, I'm going to give Sharksploitation a 2 out of 5 stars. So thank you for watching this video. Really appreciate if you can just give the video a big thumbs up, press the right subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and until the next time that I see you, I'll be seeing you later.